Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. For today's video, I wanted to share with you guys some of the all-around updates that I could give you inside of Bitcoin, inside of Ethereum, as well as taking a look at the Bitcoin dominance, because there is a pattern inside of the Bitcoin dominance is playing out that looks almost exactly to what we saw in the last cycle back in 2017, right before some of the biggest altcoin profits that we had ever seen. I honestly expect that this is the bottom across the board on the altcoins as well as Bitcoin, and we're going to experience probably a couple months worth of consolidation from here. No reason to get shaken out. A lot of this stuff is nothing we haven't seen before, and we should continue to focus on the long term as our end goal. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Always remember to click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these videos like the one provided for you here. And make sure you guys sign up and check out the Discord server. Links are provided for you in the description to go ahead and sign up for free. On top of that, if you're a new guy just getting into these markets, I have a free ebook and a beginner's guide to studying crypto in the description as well. This is really going to help you guys out a lot, so I've made it free to download. Links are in the description. And with all that being said, guys, let's jump right into this amazing video today. Alrighty guys, so to start off today's video, we're going to talk about some of the analysis that I made recently about Bitcoin, because what we've seen over the last 24 hours is actually a pretty nice bounce coming inside of the recent price action. So this is exactly what we wanted to see. We needed to see buyers step in here at the lows, which is exactly what I talked about in my last update for you. We were up here and I said that most likely we're going to end up falling down to one more low, retest this level here. And if we're going to be bullish, that's where we're going to see a bounce before going back up again. Now, in my opinion, guys, and I could be wrong when saying this, it's in my opinion that this is the bottom. I don't think that we're going to be breaking below this point at 30K. I think it's a little bit more likely that we might swing up here. You know, maybe we come back down before going up higher. I don't know exactly how the consolidation is going to look, but what I've drawn to you guys over the last little while is really just this similar consolidation that we saw over here. And this was really when Bitcoin broke out at 12,000, retested that $10,500 level, and then went all the way up into price discovery. And I've drawn this conclusion for you guys because it's pretty much following the same type of price structure here. Really, all I'm expecting from here is a rally up, probably closer to 47 to 48K. Once we hit this level over here, this resistance, the previous support of that high, I would expect some type of a pullback. From that pullback, you know, we would expect to see some more consolidation. Keep in mind, guys, that if this is the case, we would expect to see a little bit, probably a couple months. Yeah, so about a couple months worth of sideways price action here. It's mainly just going to be ranging, mainly going to be choppy up and down. It's not going to be too fun, I would imagine. I mean, if you're a day trader, this is going to be the prime territory in which you're going to want to be able to make some profit. These are going to be the best times in which you can do so. And so I honestly think that right now, this is really what we're going to see playing out for Bitcoin, which is pretty cool because if you guys remember, at this point right here, if you guys remember, it was right at we were below this resistance, and the market was pretty much just coiling inside of this triangle. And it was really at the end of this triangle in which we had our biggest alt season ever. And so I'm wondering if maybe we could see something similar in here, where the market's been really choppy up to this point. We had this big sell-off. But what if this is the point where during this consolidation, the sideways price action, maybe altcoins get a chance to rally? I really wouldn't be surprised to see that. But regardless, guys, I think that these are going to be following somewhat, you know, close to this trend. I think we could go a little bit more parabolic than this is showing. But keep in mind, guys, at the end of the day, we really have no idea. We're just going to have to watch and play it. And this is really the most identical price action that we have to look at up to this point. So it follows along pretty closely with what I'm expecting. So we're going to continue to watch out for this moving forward. Now let's check out another chart, which is actually going to be the Ethereum chart. Now, if you guys look over here at this chart, this is another one I brought to you guys' attention. And this is something I wanted to bring to your attention because we've pretty much followed to our first little scenario here. Now, it's not confirmed yet, but what I was drawing for you guys was really that I expected that this triangle was most likely going to sell off. What I had drawn is that we would actually fall and retest this trend line. We didn't go all the way down and retest it, but we did get a break below that trend line. Now we're at this point, guys, where honestly what I'm watching for here is pretty much the same price action as what we saw with Ethereum. After, you know, we had that run up in January, March rolls around, we have that big sell-off, and then this is the price action that we saw shortly after that point. Now, guys, inside of this type of a move, based off of what we've seen thus far with Ethereum, the move that we're going to be expecting to see next is really going to be a big move upwards of about 8K. That's really what I'm going to be expecting to see next. We peaked at like 5K. 8K really isn't even that far off, and we could honestly see a move even upwards of 10K before a significant pullback. Because the thing is, guys, when we zoom out of this chart, what we're looking at is a market that just broke its all-time high. This massive sell-off that we're seeing right here is us just retesting, you know, that pretty much that same high as support. Even though we got retest over in this area, this is just a much bigger liquidity grab at that same area. And so all of this is literally just a breakout of the all-time high and a retest that all-time high. This is the first move in a price discovery here. And so what is to be expected to come next is going to be the majority of our parabolic cycle to close out this year, which you guys already know my price target for Ethereum is 20K. I've been calling for a $20,000 Ethereum since Ethereum was less than $200, and I'm going to continue to stick with this price target, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it even overextend that. I have no idea how high exactly it's going to go, but regardless, guys, this is what I'm going to continue to watch out for. And when people look at this chart later down the line, they're going to look at this right now and probably think to themselves, man, that's impossible. There's no way that's ever going to happen. That's way too quick. And while this could actually be drawn out a little bit more, and let's draw it out here. Start out to like here. This could definitely be drawn out a tiny bit more. We could see something more along the lines of this. I don't really know exactly. But regardless, guys, this is what I'm going to watch out for with Ethereum. This is pretty much the same market strike. This is the similar market structure as what Bitcoin did in the last cycle, where we had our first big run up, sharp pullback. We made a second big run up, then we had another pullback, retested the previous high, and then that was what took us for our final blow off top to end that cycle, which, you know, 20K Ethereum would take us pretty close to that same point. So this is what I'm watching out for with Ethereum. Now, this is the next chart on this list today is actually going to be one of the most important ones, in my opinion. And this is actually the Bitcoin dominance chart. Now, guys, what we're seeing right now based off of this chart is we're forming a higher high here, which pretty much means, guys, if you aren't familiar with this chart, this is a chart I've been updating you guys with for a significant period of time. Whenever this chart goes up, that means that Bitcoin is outperforming altcoins, taking market share away from those altcoins. And whenever this market is going down, it shows that altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin and they're taking dominance away from Bitcoin. And so what we're seeing right here, guys, and what we have been seeing, you know, we had this long-term uptrend that we were riding on. Once we broke below that uptrend, we had one more attempt to retest that trend line. Obviously, this is a rejection. And then that's what set us in for this new bull run, right? This is alt season. And this has been alt season all the way throughout this period of time here. But this was the beginning of alt season right here. Now, guys, what has happened since about March was we have our biggest decline inside of this Bitcoin dominance, I think, ever. The most consecutive down candles ever. And we actually fell all the way down to about 39-40% dominance. And from this point, we had our first relief bounce. Now, we have sold off from that point, but what we can see forming here is a higher low. So this is your classic Adam and Eve double bottom formation. And so what I'm honestly expecting to have happen from here is it reminds me a lot of some price action that we actually saw in the last cycle. And once I share with you guys what I mean, I think you guys are going to be able to understand a lot more. So if we take this chart and we kind of take it over here, we're going to actually overlay it. And I'm going to share with you guys a little bit of what I'm talking about here. Because in my opinion, these are pretty much the same type of price action as what we're going to see. Now notice over here at this period of time, this is when we had our first massive spill in our last bull run. We had this big sell-off, right? And once we found our first relief bounce, it made this pattern. A, B, C, right? Where we make the same little Adam and Eve bottom formation before rejecting and then selling off for continuation in that bear trend. And if you guys notice over here, this is roughly the same type of price action that we're seeing, you know, once more inside of Bitcoin today. And so if we're going to continue to see this play out from here, you know, that's going to produce a pump upwards of about 50%, you know, highs upwards of about 52%, which a move up towards of about 52%. Would take us to about right here. So let's make this one red. So anywhere inside of this little range right here, this is where I'm going to be expecting to see a rejection coming inside of the Bitcoin dominance, but we will see another short-term high. So what I'm expecting right now is pretty much for Bitcoin to bottom. I think the Bitcoin's in the bottom. Bitcoin's going to make its big rally up as we've had this big crash, right? So you'd expect to see somewhat of a relief bounce. I think the Bitcoin's going to get a relief bounce, right? It's like we talked about right here. We're going to get this relief bounce in. We're going to come upwards of about 47, 48K, maybe even 50K, depending on how crazy it gets. We're going to see a relief bounce. And during that time, I would expect to see Bitcoin outperform altcoins. And that's what's going to be this move here. As Bitcoin dominance rallies back up to 50, 52%, wherever it's going to hit, that's where we're going to see the relief rally come inside of Bitcoin right here. And from that point, you know, as we go sideways at that, I would expect, you know, we're going to see this to continue to drop, continue to see altcoins outperform Bitcoin. And that's literally what's going to set us up for the next major drop inside of this move. Because guys, after we reject here, after this becomes resistance, and then we make our next low in this cycle, this is going to be a break below the all-time lows here. See this all-time low here? We're going to be breaking below that and going into new lows. And that's really where I think we're going to see a lot of altcoins performing insane gains. We already have up to this point, but I think it's going to get much more euphoric after this rejection right here. And that's just what I'm going to continue to watch out for next, guys. This is looking very bearish, but very good for the altcoins entirely. And so we're going to continue to watch out for this moving forward. Now, I wanted to share with you guys one altcoin that has really caught my attention. Just because of the fact it's held support so strongly, and it's really giving me a lot of confidence that tells me that the bottom really is in, and we do have more upside coming. So ADA is really just going to follow Ethereum. If you guys notice, these are pretty much the same chart. But what ADA has actually done is ADA flipped its previous all-time high, you know, same thing that Ethereum did. And we've held support above this previous all-time high the whole time. But what you guys are going to notice here is off of this sell-off, we actually saw ADA pull back a lot. But ADA's dips have been bought up the entire time. Notice these big wicks all throughout this period. Every one of these sell-offs that happen inside of ADA gets bought up immediately, which is just a telltale sign that's saying that, guys, there's a lot of buyers stepping into this market. We're nowhere close to being done yet. And what we can see here forming for ADA is just higher highs and higher lows. I mean, this was previous all-time high. We flipped it. Higher high, higher high, higher high. Now, this was our previous resistance, 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 resistance. We flipped it. Higher high, higher high, higher high. These are all wicks above this level, guys. This is nothing bearish at all. This is nothing but bullish price action, and we should continue to expect to see more upside coming. And so anyways, guys, this is a video I had for you. I wanted to summarize some thoughts. I see a lot of fear. Wanted to just make sure you guys are aware that I'm very much still bullish. I don't see any reason to be shaken out. You know, we're still very much early in the 4-year cycle, and so there's really no big reason to be too scared right now. Continue to focus at the end of the year because that's the real time frames. Everything just broke their all-time highs. The next move is going to be very parabolic, and you want to make sure that you're not panic selling, making dumb decisions before you're able to actually ride into that profit. So thank you guys so much for watching. Join the Discord if you want to. Download my free ebook. Links are going to be provided for you in the description to go ahead and check out all that stuff. If you guys want to join the private group, the Discord server where I have my signals, copy all those trades that I make over the cycle, follow my portfolio, all of that's also going to be provided for you in the description to check out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and supporting this channel. And with all that being said, guys, I will catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.